The idea for this exhibition was that I wanted to be in a place to take some time and produce everything from scratch, using the infrastructure of this place, trying as much as possible not to have pre-planned things. It's not just I want to do this for the sake of just doing anything. It's also because of trying at this moment in time to understand what the hell is going on in the world, how do we work with it, how to produce what we call art under these conditions. And I thought that this kind of situation and these kind of limitations can be very useful for that. I started with music when I was a teenager, but I was also writing since I was a teenager, so it was a mix of these things. And I think that when I identified myself as an artist, I didn't know that what I was doing was necessarily art. From the very beginning, I've always worked in very, very different mediums, and I never felt this kind of weird idea that this is this medium, this is that medium. Maybe also because I never studied art. I studied literature, and I was making music, and I was making weird videos, you know, all of this kind of stuff. So it really, I guess this practice, this formal practice came from these drives. They didn't come from like studying something or wanting to be like something, but really just to really do something.
Who wants to be alone?
I've been here 1 month. It feels like a year and it feels like 1 week, both, literally, because it's been so fast since I arrived and started working, and at the same time done so much that it really feels like it's such a long time. So it's this kind of very strange time distortion. In this 1 month, I worked in so many different infrastructures. So I worked with a glass blower, Mr. Zvonko. I worked with musicians to produce an EP and a fake band with alter egos. I worked with actors to make a video that was shot on my phone in the fundus of Viba Studios. I worked with a designer to do some digital illustrations and to design together the compositions for the metal prints and for the textile fabric. These are some of the things I did in that month. And all of them, of course, involve all the layers. So producing the EP means, you know, writing the songs, writing the music, working with the musicians and the singer, bringing the band together, you know, doing a concert. So we did a live concert at Radio Student, and then recording the EP properly in the studio, then mixing, then mastering. So it's everything, the whole process. Posters were all made on my phone, which also meant that I can work on them anytime, anywhere, 5 a.m. in bed. You know, my relationship to my phone, I'm always like making notes. You take photos, whatever, they're kind of notes. And it's kind of strange because I find that over the years, I take photos of the same exact details and forget. So there is something like important. Why am I looking at this thing? It's important. Somehow with the posters, it was a way of translating this urge to kind of express it, to take the same method of this quick note-taking and flip it and make it a production. A lot of them are super immediate, and there also some have statements and things that I maybe would never have said otherwise in any other form of art making. By choosing this method, it allowed me to do this, which I feel is relevant now, which I feel makes sense now.
All I've got is dirt, so I'm gonna try it out to draw this poison out.
It's also trying to think about how these works that are very, very different in mediums are actually connected. There is, you know, layering. So I went to the storage of Shukrarna and I constructed a sort of stage, but draped on it is a fabric that has things printed on it and stitched in a certain way. elements that were digitally illustrated from a poster that was by the AfD in Germany, because this show is partially about fascism and comedy. These urges and drives, I find them kind of strangely related, especially maybe under the current historical period. The old comedy of the grotesque Joker, or the monster, or these kind of comedies, which I think are very deep and are very meaningful, actually, and very important for us. They're reappearing through these new kind of political populist powers. And I believe that these powers generate political capital partially by using these tropes. So that's the exhibition in the end, like bringing all the production together into the space, inhabiting the space, making the works talk to each other. Like when you listen to a song that has certain types of lyrics, a certain way, and then you see these emblems that maybe have a certain strength, and then these posters which speak very directly versus some things which are very elusive. If they're all put together in a way, composed together so that they actually operate, so they actually almost act like a machine, then hopefully something really happens.
Say bye-bye, dear. The time is come and gone. We're lost but also near.